Warning: Fortune and Strife features subjects which can be uncomfortable for a general audience, such as the use of drugs and alcohol, poor treatment of people of different classes or cultures, adult situations, psychological trauma, and violence. Listener discretion advised. Welcome to Fortune and Strife. I'm Robert, or Bayoshi Shinichi, and I'll be your host, narrator, as well as taking over for Shoshiro Bisho and Kuni Yui.
I am Jeanne, and I am playing Doji Gen.
I am Tyler, and I am playing Akoto Richi, and let's play some L5R.
So you finish up your dinner with Hideki and Miyuki, and Hideki has totally changed kind of perspective on things. They're now much more engaged and chatty. They're enjoying both the conversations of swordsmanship as well as learned stuff about whether it's academics from Gen about plants and critters of the forest to healing remedies and proper medical procedure from Richi, but also still sometimes flowing back into sword, and they don't seem to be nearly as upset when it comes to that. They seem to be actually looking forward to this challenge of the duel between themselves and Richi, going to be adjudicated by a member of the esteemed Crane clan. So it seems to all be coming together in a way that those who had seen Hideki in the days before would not have thought would happen. And it's not long until everyone's had a good bit of time to let the light dinner settle before you guys set out. And Miyuki is hanging some paper lanterns out in the kind of twilight of the day to still keep some light around a small dueling circle that Hideki has set up for the duel to take place in.
Just curious, is it the same dueling circle we had a few days ago?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Glad to see that he's maintained it.
Yes, absolutely. He has definitely, well, I would say not necessarily maintained it, as he's now scrambling to probably get it a little more cleaned up than he should have before today had happened. He might have let it kind of go to the bottom of his to-do list for a few things, but he seems very much interested in getting it set to rights and put together now for this. And how about we go ahead and start off with a little bit of a scene from each of you, or at least a short description of kind of how you are engaging with the environment, how you're dressed, how you're looking, how you're entering the scene here, as it were. Whereas Hideki is readying the impromptu dueling circle, and Miyuki is hanging up some lights.
All right. Well, Gen knows more or less what she is supposed to do. She is still wearing her ceremonial clothes from earlier, with her little scholar's cap on and looking spiffed up because she had been that way already to research in the library and show proper respect to the fox. So for this, because she is supposed to be taking an impartial role on the duel, she finds her position on the side of the ring and she pulls out her fan, which is what she would normally use to signal the beginning and end of the duel or anything like that, and is just at this point standing there fanning herself lightly.
Excellent. And how's Richi kind of stepping onto the stage here, as it were?
Richi steps out in full ceremonial garb that he has. The same garb that he brought all the way back to the Sparrow Lands to show the majesty of the Lion Clan. Richi is bringing forth to this duel. He's already carrying Boken at his side and has a very impassive face on right now. More so than normal. There's not a hint of joviality to his eyes, to his mouth. It is very much business as usual for him.
All right. Young Hideki does his best to kind of straighten out his outfit to look just as sharp and as tall as he can with his teenage kind of gawkiness. But yeah, Mayumi comes over and hands him his boken and helps kind of straighten his hair and gets him ready. And soon Hideki walks into the dueling area with or circle here with Ricci and gets ready, and you turns to Gen, and he gives her a low, deep bow, and then turns to Ricci, and in time with him, gives him a long and a deep bow for someone who has come to help him with all of this in preparation for his Genpuku.
I also do the same bow to Doji Gen as the officiant of this duel, and I will give the polite bow back to Hideki.
And at this point, there is, a bit of the fairly perfunctory protocol that this is a duel fought with Boken. This is a duel to be fought to first strike. That we are not looking to maim or injure each other here, and it is going to take on the rules kind of in regard to that. So each of you will prepare with the Boken in one's obi and take in a stance at range 2 apart from each other. And after that is kind of been stated, Hideki goes ahead and takes his position and kind of seats himself into his dueling stance. And it's better than it was the day that you saw him take it when you saw him take it a few days ago here. And let's get started with a TN1 meditation check for the initiative here.
All right. With this, I'm going to go ahead and make this roll, but in addition, I'll go ahead and say this right now. I'm going to go ahead and add one additional strife to increase my initiative value for this first round.
Oh, excellent. All right. Fair enough. Think that we do that at...
It's technically after the stare down.
Technically after stare down. That's what I thought. But yeah, so we'll get there when we get there. So let's go ahead and make this check for the stare down. Or for the initiative. All right. Hideki is going to assess in air. They will take, I guess, the 2 successes with 2 strife, unfortunately. Not the best way to start off a duel by getting yourself strifed out, but that is how they will start things.
Ricci, on the other hand, rolled 2 exploding successes and a normal success, but the exploding successes had strife, so I'm not going to keep them. I only kept the 1 success, bringing me to an initiative of 5, my focus of 4, and my success of 1.
All right.
And then this first round, I'll go ahead and take a additional strife to up it up to a 6.
All right. So actually, hold on saying that, because we will have a bidding thing. So, but we should know each other's initiative to begin with. Hideki is starting with an initiative of 6.
Ooh.
So that is because it's 2 plus your focus stat, or sorry, it's whatever your successes were plus your focus stat.
Yep. So we both have a focus of 4 then, and he rolled
Yes.
2 successes and only rolled the 1.
Yep.
So even if I add the 1 strife to go up by 1, we tie.
And then it comes down to who has the higher or lower honor. Yeah. So let's go ahead and consider that now as we move into the next phase of dueling, which is going to be the stare down. At this point, we will each take 1 strife as we are in round 1 of a duel. So go ahead and add that to Hideki's. And then from here, I believe we start to now think about where we want to be with bidding. Additionally, after receiving strife, each character who is not compromised might bid additional strife to increase their initiative value. So at this point, I think if we message it to Gen, how much we are going to bid to increase our initiative. I've sent my bid to Gen. If you'll send one to them as well.
Okay. Actually, I'll just say mine 0.
0 as well. All right.
Yeah, I think at this point, since since I kind of know that he's going to be going first on this, and by spending 1 won't get me anywhere, I'd have to spend 2. Don't think I'm going to need to bid anymore on this one.
That's fair. All right. So Hideki will have their first action, and they are going to center. And so they take a moment, go into now void stance from air, and they try to take a moment to focus on their martial skill. And they're going to roll a couple of dice here equal to their ranks in martial for now. And they are not going to keep it. That is their action.
Very well. Then what I shall do, I think we'll just go in swords ablazing in this regard. I started off in water stance, and so what this looks like is Ricci sees that Hideki is kind of taking a step back, kind of centering in and focusing himself and kind of building himself up to kind of work towards a big strike. Ricci's going in for a quick slash using the Aijutsu cut of crossing blade.
Okay.
And so we'll just go ahead and make the martial arts check. All right.
And your stance is still in water, or did I hear that correctly?
I will be staying in water for the moment. Looking for a TN of 2. That is very unfortunate.
That's a lot of opportunity. You had a 50% chance of hitting the target, though.
Yeah. So. Oh, well, okay.
Whiff.
Yeah, so you, I think an interesting way to say it would be as you draw and pull it out, Hideki, with that kind of step back that he took to center himself and try to gain his awareness in this battle, put himself just that slight reach outside of the practiced extension of your blade. It was just that little step that gave him enough distance to throw off your reach.
Okay. So what I will do then is with the 2 opportunity that I have, I want to use one of the opportunities to recover 2 strife,
Okay.
which will bring me down from 7 down to 5, which is, I'm sorry, I gained 1 strife off of this, so it put me up to 8. I go back down to 6 strife now.
Mm-hmm.
The other opportunity, I would like to, oh no, never mind. That won't work. I'll use the 1 opportunity to recover 2 strife, and then I'll use the other opportunity to remove, I don't have a fatigue. I'll just let that one slip for now.
You could always drop the other strife that you would get off this check, so you could go ahead and gain no strife off the check and then recover 2.
No, and as a matter of fact, what I want to do in this one, I want to make this look a very, I wanted to make it look good, not necessarily flashy because it's not the right ring for it, but I want to make it look just smooth.
There you go, smooth and
graceful.
Graceful. There you go. Okay,
So
that's not
even
bad.
though it didn't hit, it looks good.
Excellent. I like that. All right. That's it for the first round. Now we'll go into the second round. Stare down happens again. We each now gain 2 additional strife, and we can bid again.
0 for me.
Yeah, 0 for me. All right, we'll just go ahead and do it that way. And at this point, Hideki will switch from void stance to water stance. He will draw his sword, and then they will predict. And this time I do have to message again.
Okay.
All right. So Hideki predicts, tries to get an idea of where you may or may not put yourself into this next action you're going to take.
Well, this is going to be interesting, as I too am going to predict.
Okay.
So we're kind of staring at each other.
So first, before you do that, you have to set your stance.
Oh, that's right, because his stance will. Oh yeah, I am going to stick in water.
All right. Again, if you'll reveal what I wrote to you.
He was predicting Earth.
You did not go into Earth. You're fine.
Okay. Well, in this case, here comes my prediction back. And then I will also use a calming breath and bring down my initiative, or not my initiative, I'm sorry, bring down my strife down to 7.
There you go. Sounds good.
And that is my turn. As we're both kind of staring down each other, there is a bit of a slight nod from Ricci to Hideki. Maybe he didn't notice it, but there's just a, I see what you're doing. Okay.
All right. So now we move into round 3. We each take 3 strife. And at this point, I will bid 0. I'm assuming we're both bidding 0.
Also bidding 0.
Yeah. Hideki will now move into air stance. Again, if you'll tell us what was the prediction that Ricci made?
The prediction was Earth.
Okay. So we both predicted Earth, and it did not go off. Going into air stance, and they are going to attempt a strike. They will spend. They will spend their 1 void point on this. All right, and did not get the other opportunity, so they will spend the 1 opportunity that they got to not gain any strife off of this check, and that'll make 4 successes.
That is certainly a hit.
A Boken is a damage 3, deadliness 3. So he will have hit you for 7 damage. Oh, sorry, for only two bonus successes. I'm sorry, for only 5 damage.
Yeah, I was about to say. Whew.
Yeah. Yep. So 5 damage. You can take that. So as he swings at you, you either block at it or just move yourself out of the way at the last moment, however you want to describe it. And then
So the way I look at it is we're just kind of doing the stare down on each other, and Ricci goes to parry a strike that would have come from Earth, but the quickness that Hideki just displayed here caught Ricci a little off guard, and he rushes to parry the attack from the air stance instead. And it was a little closer than it should have been, but it's still a parry nonetheless.
there you go. I like it.
Excellent.
So with your ceremonial robes, you will take 4 fatigue.
All right, got it.
And it is your action.
So I'm going to switch on over to Earth Stance, and we're going to give me 1 moment. I want to take a look and see, because we're coming up to round 4, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so regardless, next turn I'm going to get compromised. So it's whether or not I want to stick with Earth and try to try to do the nifty thing I want to try next turn, or if I want to go to air and just try to avoid the finishing blow as it's going to come in.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's actually a little bit of a tougher thing. I think actually instead of going to Earth, I think I will switch to air.
Okay.
And try to avoid the hit coming at me that I know was going to be coming at me. And in this regard, what I'm going to do, we're going to once again predict.
Okay.
Because I want to see if I can see how this is going to turn out.
All right. So that is the end of round 3. We move into round 4. We both immediately gain 4 strife. So moving over here to our status, go ahead and bump that up. Decky to 12, yourself to 14. Lo and behold, we both become compromised at the same time. He still has the lower honor, so he will execute their finishing blow first.
By all means.
He is still in air. He hasn't had his turn to begin yet, so we haven't had the resetting of stances, so predict will not come into play here just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he is going to attempt to strike from air while compromised. So let's see here.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. Raise up my T into 3, and he can't take any strife dice, so
yeah,
I'm hoping this will miss, and then my skill will come out on top. But we'll find out.
Exactly. We'll find out. They will take the 1 clean opportunity to give themselves a ring die showing opportunity added to their kept dice on their next martials check. So
Ooh.
they do not hit their finishing blow like they would have wanted. All right,
So,
your chance to strike finishing blow.
so as Hideki kind of swings in, Ricci takes an unfamiliar stance and kind of twists a little bit to the side and swings the blade in a counter strike in the same manner.
Sounds
Mhm.
good.
Now we see if we hit. I'll take the 2 opportunities here.
Mm-hmm.
And with the opportunities, I
Well, this becomes an important issue. Do
uh,
you have a distinction that might come into play here?
I do have quick reflexes.
That would come in play here. Absolutely.
Okay,
You may re-roll up to any 2 dice that you like.
very well.
Pretty much 1 and 2 sound like pretty easy
1 and 2 is going
choices.
to be that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It is
this
not
is
any better. Yeah, it
this
is
is
all opportunity.
this is an opportunity duel, and I love it. I'm here for it. I still only get to keep 2.
Yep.
So with this one, with my 2, I like the idea that he had here. I don't really want to know his demeanor in Strife because we kind of already know it at this point. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the same thing he did and keep 1 set ring dice to a opportunity on my next martial check. But I also want to use the narrative detail, and I want to know what his confidence is right now. More or less, I want to give a quick reading on him because he's a lot more aggressive than he normally is, and I want to see if anything's kind of like shining through as what that tipping point was.
Yeah.
Like, is he keeping his eyes on me? Is he looking over again every so often? Is
No,
he
his eyes are
looking at
fixed on you intently. In fact, there is a blazing intensity that you have not felt from Hideki at this point previously. You sense in him that he is confident, that he thinks that this is now the 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 clearest and best, most perfect moment for him to either win or win or lose. It's all coming down to this section where he might be able to take control over his life for the first time. That's kind of what you're sensing as this look of kind of blazing intensity builds within his eyes.
Okay.
So new round. We sorry, that was the beginning of round 4.
Mhm.
Start of his turn, he will unmask.
I'm sorry, what stance is he going into?
I'm about to get to that. First off, he is going to unmask because that has to be done at the beginning or end of your turn. So this is
Fair
still
enough.
beginning of
Mhm.
turn stuff. He is going to unmask by opening up an opening to you. He is putting himself in the classic fire stance, opening of putting it all out there, but leaving himself open completely. So his stance is going to be fire. Again, what is the prediction?
And that was what Ricci predicted, that he would go into fire.
You got it. Fair enough. All right. So you predict fire. So instead, he now he loses all his strife, but then immediately gains 4. So let me go ahead and make those changes. And you might have got the kid here. All right. So
And he's going to have to switch that stance.
he is going to have to switch that stance.
Because the
So
way I'm looking at it is that we do the swing, then we kind of like take that, like pass by each other in the very graceful manner that, a sword fight can look like. And,
mhm.
Hideki just immediately goes into the head over hand, like the hands over his head, holding the sword above, just about to come down. When Ricci's already starting to do the upward swing from the sword, and so Hideki's got to immediately bring it down for some sort of defense.
Mhm. I like it.
Excellent.
So in that case, they are going to switch into Earth because they have to take a new stance. And from Earth, the only action they really have is to attempt another strike. So we're gonna try it from here. but this might be where Hideki is strongest. Ooh! Okay, let me go over Hideki's advantages here and see if there's anything that would work well for the kid here. He is a quick study. So what do we think? Should that allow him to reroll 2 dice?
Actually, I was going to make a suggestion.
Yeah, what's up?
Throughout all of this time, Hideki, has been very observant of what's going on around him. He's trying to pay attention to this new mentor that's kind of come into his life, and he's kind of noticed that Richi's, a little sweet on his mom. And so he might try to position himself to where Richi's like seeing Miyuki and just enough of a distraction to get that hidden. Basically, I'm suggesting that he knows my adversity of a bitter betrothal and is going to use it to his advantage.
Ooh, that's not a bad way to go either. He would need an avoid point for that, and he's already used his one earlier.
Oh,
So yeah, we'll just go with quick study to reroll. I think 2 and 4, but I like where your head's at. All right. Let's see here. He is going to keep. And of course, those come up blank. But that is still 3 success, which is what I need to hit you in air stance. And Richi, you're taking another 3 damage, which will equal 2 fatigue to Richi. The kid is landing some pretty good almost hits on you here.
Yeah, it puts me up to 6.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's he gains 1 more strife off of that roll for that 1 explosive exploding ring die. So he goes ahead and edits that to 5, and it is now your action.
Okay. So at this point, I think he's shown his worth, but I'm not going to give up just
And
yet.
right now the TN is 1 because he gave you that opening when he unmasked.
Okay. So what I will do is I will not unmask in this regard. I'm gonna take just a little bit more on this one, and I'm going to switch on over to Earth Stance myself. We're kind of echoing each other, which I absolutely adore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm switching on over to Earth Stance, and I'm going to make my attack on him from here.
All right.
Just want to check and see if there's something else I wanted to do. Not in this regard. So yeah, just it's going to be a normal strike from Earth.
Sounds good. Oh, you know what? He had that opportunity from last round. He is going to save himself that 1 bit of strife, although I don't know if it's going to matter.
Okay.
Actually, what else can you do? A standard Earth one is improve your.
As you can improve your resistance.
Your resistance. Let's do that one instead. Actually.
All right.
Let's see here. Make sure I'm getting the right one here. Increase the TN of the next check the target makes to resist a crit. Oh, that's fire. Sorry. Reduce the severity of the next crit you take by 1. That's the one.
Reduce the severity. Oh, okay.
Yeah, reduce severity.
All right. Because I also have the same thing. So let's use that opportunity. So I got 2 successes and 1 opportunity on this one because I'm still compromised, so I can't take any strife. And so what I'd like to do is go ahead and use that opportunity. Under other normal circumstances, I wouldn't do this, but I'm curious, and this is being an interesting duel. I'm going to use my opportunity to reduce Hideki's strife by 2.
Oh, interesting.
I'm still hitting him, but
you are still hitting him. So that is 3 with 1 bonus success equals 4 minus his ceremonial robes as well. Gives him 3 fatigue. All right. The hits keep coming. The slashes of the Boken are close, but no one's landed a telling blow just yet. Okay, and now we move on to the next round. At this point, we each take 5 strife.
Oof. So for anyone keeping track, I'm now at 19 strife of 12 composure.
Oh man.
But you have
All
not yet
right.
unmasked.
But I have not yet unmasked.
You have not yet unmasked. That is true. All right. So you are in Earth. Hideki will now safely shift into fire stance, and from here he will hopefully make a telling blow against you. Let's see if he can get it out here, folks. Let's see here. So 2 fire and 2 skill. Come on, kid. All right. Well, comes up blanks again on his explosions, but that is still a another hit. So that is going to be 3 damage. With your robes, will come down to 2 fatigue.
Puts me at 8 of my 10.
And at that point, Hideki also becomes compromised.
Very well. At this point, I don't get another finishing blow. You only get to do 1 finishing blow per duel. So we'll just take things little by little here.
There you go.
So at this point, I see that he's gotten compromised again, and he's starting to get on edge. He's starting to lose a little bit of that, just a little bit of that discipline.
I'm sorry. There was a fatigue. Sorry, a strife on that check, and I forgot about the basic rule of fire stance. It's an additional +1 damage. It's not much, but it's
that puts me at 9 instead of opposed to 10. So
there you go. That is getting you one closer. If you can get one more hit in, he will have incapacitated you.
But at this point, I see that he's striking in. He's starting to lose that discipline and starting to go more the rage side, or not really rage, but more passionate side of
giving
combat.
into his emotions. Yeah.
Yep. And so, as I see Hideki like losing that discipline, losing that composure, and starting to strike a little bit more so with reckless abandon, Ricci kind of sets his stance a little bit and says, "You should show weakness where you are strong." I will now unmask, dropping all of my strife. So I'm going down to 0, but as a bit of a consequence, I'm switching to void stance.
But what is your style of unmasking, I should say here?
Oh, that's me quoting leadership to him.
Okay.
In the middle of this duel, and I'm switching to void stance, and I'm centering in.
Oh, sure, but I'm guessing what is the narrative style of your unmasking? Is it showing an opening? Is it kind of a rage? Are you losing control? Where do you kind of see this this one at?
I am showing an opening by going into the center, and I just want to see what he
can do.
Well, it's not even what he can do, but what he will do. Because at this point, this if he hits me again, he's gonna hit. So I want to see if what he will do in that regard. So I'm gonna center stance in and basically see what happens.
Okay, I like it. Well, center is a good one for this stance of sacrifice, of opening oneself up to the world and the universe around them. We go into another round of stare down. This time we are at round 6, so it is 6 strife to each of us.
Oh, one thing I was going to use the center stance to
Oh yes, go ahead. Roll your you just roll your skill dice.
Oh, skill. I'll just take the skill dice then.
Yeah, you just you could select. You could choose it to keep any of those if you wish.
I'll keep the success, but not the opportunities.
Sounds good. All right, so you'll roll 1 fewer die in the future, but you have an auto success on any future roll with martial arts melee that you make.
That works.
Okay. Moving into round 6, seeing you take that stance and quoting leadership, Hideki plants his feet as firmly as he can to the ground, moves into earth stance, braces both hands onto the boken, and he just lunges with the full force of his weight being pressed down into the ground, his hips and legs just perfectly aligned with the element of stability, and goes for a jab directly into your sternum with the tip of his boken. All right, kid. Let's see what you can do here. Oh, wait, he's compromised.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. He'll just keep 1 and 2 then, because everything else is Strife dice. But he only needed 1 success to hit you with revealing an opening. So he will hit for 3 damage, which becomes 2 with your armor.
So with this, he goes in for the strike, and it's just that not exactly heart piercing strike, but the kind of the thrust in, and Ricci, broken down, kind of focusing in, just braces for the hit at this point. I'm gonna spend a void point to not defend.
Oh, interesting. All right, so you will take a crit. This is let's make sure that I'm doing this right now that it is two-handed. What level crit this is going to be? Boken with 2 hands increases the damage, not the deadliness. So this is a deadliness 3 attack. You need to resist with a void fitness test on this.
Indeed. Oh, I should have again off mic. I should have rolled center on fitness and just kind of braced with it that way.
That you know what? I'd allow that. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm only keeping the 1 success, so we
Mhm.
can kind of edit that in post.
Just know that you're dropping your fitness and whatnot. If you need to say it, you might just say from the centering, I reserve 1 die showing success for a future fitness test, and then take a breath, and then do the result of this check.
That's
that way
exactly
you can edit it in there.
Yeah. I thought it would be a good cinematic end to this.
Oh, totally. I like it.
So with it, I'll go ahead and roll my fitness check with 1 less skill die, because I've already rolled that skill die. I will. Oh! I just realized something cool that I didn't realize beforehand. So I rolled a success, a opportunity in Strife, and exploding success with Strife, and I'm going to keep all of them because I don't gain Strife while I'm in the void stance.
Yeah, that's true.
Or I don't get Strife off of the dice for void
Yes.
stance, more accurately.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be 2 successes with the reserve making a 3rd success, and then 2 opportunity. I am not going to be mean and request the 2 void opportunity.
That one's not mean. That's all on you. Again, it sounds like it's heavy lifting for the GM, but it's actually just GM approval over what's something that you want to learn about life, the universe, or your own human heart. It's the player has to do the heavy lifting. The GM just decides if it's cool or not.
That's fair.
Yep.
All right, in this fitness roll, I've got 2 successes going into a reserved 3rd success, as well as 2 opportunity. I did roll 3 strife, but I get to ignore it because I'm in void stance. And so with the opportunities, I want to get a supernatural premonition. Because we're in the middle of Kitsune Mori.
Yeah.
And this seems like a perfect place for something like that.
Excellent. I would imagine that a premonition that you would have would be of a blue and green-eyed fox kind of yipping and howling in pain. But it feels like the cry and anguish of a dear friend.
Okay.
And then that's immediately preceded by the thump in the chest of the Boken landing home. You are able to reduce the crit from a severity 3 to a severity 0, which is good. He kind of as the Boken tip catches your kimono and causes it to go askew, kind of not quite perhaps tearing the collar a little bit on it as it slides up against your chest and removes some of the protection of your armor. Your ceremonial robes have become damaged.
Of course they would be.
Right? But that's all
But
right.
this is a duel to
the
first
Yuki's here.
strikes.
It's a first strike. So yeah, at that point, it sounds like our judge has raised a fan. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. First strike has been struck, and no one has been hurt, but the blow has been delivered.
Excellent. So let's have Gin go to page 261 of the core book, and she can score out our duel here. Oh, I guess technically, sorry if we take a pause to cut back on that. While first strike has been made, it's only resolved at the end of the round of a duel. Actually, technically, Ricci gets to take one additional action if they choose to.
I will choose not to.
Okay, there you go. Achieved objective. Hideki scored a critical hit, so that is 6 points to Hideki. Ricci did not score a critical hit. No points to Ricci for that one. Struck the enemy first. Hideki was able to score the first critical hit. That's a 3 points for him. No points to Ricci, so that's 9. Inflict fatigue on the enemy. 9. Plus 1 point for fatigue. You went from 0 to 9, correct?
Correct.
So that is not another 9 points to put him to 18. Hideki got through by taking only, I think, 2 damage. Was it? Was it 2 or was it 3? I was fortunately keeping it on 2 different things. It was 3. All right, so Ricci gets 3 points there.
We're on the board.
So now we're at 3 to 18. Killed the enemy, doesn't matter. Unmasked, Hideki did unmask, taking him from 18 to 16, and no one cheated. So I think in the grand scoring of things, as Gin goes through, pretty squarely we have a winner here, but that means it is 16 to 3 with a
16
difference.
to 1. I unmasked.
Oh, you unmasked
You
as
did.
well. 16 to 1. Fair enough. So with a score difference of 7+, you can declare Hideki the winner by no contest. The character who won does not so much win as demonstrate that it was never a contest. If the winner receives a glory award, increase it by 5. So there we go.
All right.
So
that sounds excellent.
With the stuff there, we can go and pick up with again ruling. Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, again, does the calculation of who wins, and it comes out to be 16 points for Hideki and 1 point for Ricci at the end of the duel. And therefore, it is resolved without a doubt. She raises her fans, points the fan at Hideki, and says, Kitsune Hideki, you have won this duel.
And this smile just explodes on his face. It wasn't that you had given to him so much as you had helped train him to get him to this position. He had been so ahead in so many ways on his own. All you did was give him that last little bit of an opening, and he seized on it. And he needed it to only be that difficulty 1. Otherwise, this would have come into be a total slugfest of just wearing each other down repeatedly. But there it is. He has defeated a Lion Clan samurai in a practice duel and is just excited and ecstatic over the whole thing. Rishi-san, I can't believe I beat you. I thought for sure when you had seen through me when I was to throw everything I had into it, and you seemed to knew what I was going to do before I even did it, that I was gonna lose. But thank you.
The victory is yours, Hideki-san.
And he just bows low as he can. I'm so thankful to you and your friend in this evening. I feel like I've kind of turned a course in a river, and I'm no longer lost. I can see familiar territory once again, as it were. That feeling of relief when you find your way after being adrift.
You have been given a great opportunity with this. Do not let it slip by you.
This is a first and large step into a very much dangerous world. You have the capability. Make sure you use it properly.
Of course, I can see that now, and I can see that all this time training in the sword was not all in vain or wasted. That if I can learn and I can improve to this method, then I can strive in other areas, and I can hopefully teach people how uh, best to work with me in the future, so that I can hopefully find my own way in this world. While my clan might need Bushi, uh, it is not entirely the how should I say. Um, it, it doesn't look like I'm just going to be forced into something that I hate. That I could try to find a new way to walk forward in this world after all of this. I can't thank you each enough.
Now, I will warn you that my sensei did not teach me the sword. He has sworn off the blade for more scholarly pursuits. However, you will be deployed to battlefields where you may still need to use it. Do not forget your training. Do not go lax on it. Otherwise, a dead medic is no good to anyone.
Understood that I need to protect myself before I can protect others. Is that what you're trying to say?
That is exactly it. At which point, Ricci just breaks up into a wide grin and just says, "If you keep up your skill levels now, I think you'll be fine."
Thank you. And with that, he kind of turns to his mom. Did you see that? I actually beat Ricci. And she's just with that warm motherly smile, opens her arms to her child to come over and uh, takes him up into an embrace. I saw, and with your own skill, nothing given, nothing chastised or forced out of you. That was all you're doing in your own cunning and perseverance to continue with that whole thing. I was a little worried at the same time you did yourself when he almost tripped you up there, but I'm so proud of you, Hideki, and I'm so glad that you are taking the this idea about what the future might hold for you in stride. We don't always know what the future will be, and well, it's not completely set in stone. While the clan might make some demands of you, there's life is long, and you will find a way to hopefully find your own path and way in it. Don't give up at such a young age in the future. Now that you've seen what you can do.
I would say with Hideki's back towards Ricci,
Mm-hmm.
Ricci will look over again, just start rubbing his chest and go, "Ow!"
Yeah, yeah. A you know a not too bad a bruise, but you definitely have a red welt building up on the center of your chest there, but it's not so bad.
Yep, I'll feel that in the morning.
Again, covers her lips with her fan and smiles.
She kind of smiles and hides a bit of laughter there. Miyuki says, "Well, then I think a celebratory drink is called for here. Shall we raise a glass to my son, the victor, tonight?"
That sounds a wonderful idea to me.
All right.
Of course.
And with that, you guys retreat back into the izakaya of Miyuki's establishment here and have a couple of drinks to celebrate Hideki's victory. I'm Robert, or Bayoshi Shinichi, your host, narrator, and temporary Bisho and Yui. Thanking you once again for listening. Remember to catch new episodes every Monday, and if you want to catch them early or are looking for more bonus content, please consider becoming a supporting member of the Patreon at patreon.com/CourtGames.
I am Tyler, and I've been playing Akoto Ricci. You can find me on my personal accounts on Twitter at ChurcherGames or on Twitch, also as ChurcherGames. You can find the show on the web at CourtGamesPod.com, on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram under Fortune and Strife, and on Twitter at L5RFNS. If you'd like to contact us, you can email the show at fortuneandstrife@gmail.com.
This is Jeanne, aka Kakita Kaori, and also known as, at least today, Doji Gen. If you like, you can find me on the CourtGames RPG podcast, at the Winter Garden of the Kakita website, or check out The Table Is Yours for fiction readings of the FFG stories.
This has been Fortune and Strife, a Court Games production in association with the D20 Radio Network and the Rokugane Historical Society.
Correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.